our new olive tree. Good morning. So the wind has been blowing like crazy since last night, and this morning it has not stopped. So it's not super cold, but it is just, the wind makes it a little bit cold. So the sun's just starting to come up. So yeah, so we're working with some windy weather today. So we have a couple things that are on our list that we need to get done today. So I have a quick question for you guys. Have you guys ever heard the term, have you guys ever heard, when is the best time to plant a tree? If you have, put the answer down in the comments. I'll give you like a quick little second to get down there and type it. So if you said 10 years ago, you are correct. I have heard that term pretty much everywhere, that the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. Well, we didn't have the option to plant a tree or any trees 10 years ago. Heck, we didn't even know that we were going to be living on land 10 years ago. Since we couldn't do it 10 years ago, have you heard of when the next best time to plant a tree is? If you have, put it in the comments below. Now, if you said today, you are correct. So the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. And guess what? It's today. So we already have our peach tree. You've already seen us put that in the ground a little bit ago. And with that in the ground, it's survived, and so we feel confidently enough where we can start expanding our trees. Now, originally I wanted to start off with 2 bonita ash trees, but Elijah and I talked about it, and we were like, well, you know, if we're going to be putting so much water into our tree system, why not put it into some fruit trees? I'm still getting my bonita ash trees, but that's going to be something that's down the line. So when we went to the nursery to go pick up some mulch, we also picked up 2 trees and a bush, I guess you would call it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get those planted in the ground up in my future garden area. We wanted a tree next to the terry and next to where the shed's going, because so that's why we planted the peach tree up there. But with all the rest of the fruit trees, we want it in the garden area, because then I can expand and start getting doubles of trees so that they can help populate and do all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be putting in the ground an olive tree and a pomegranate tree, which are 2 trees that we have wanted. And then from there, we'll just continue to expand all the different trees that we put in the ground. We also did get a blueberry bush, but the blueberry bush has blueberries on it, and I'll show that to you guys later. And we do not want to put it out in the garden area because it's not fully fenced in, and we don't want little critters eating. Right now it's living in the play area where it's actually protected, so nothing can get to it, nothing can eat it, and so far the blueberries have been lasting. That one I'm going to eventually get into a grow bag, and I have to get some soil acidifier to lower the pH balance in the soil so that the blueberries will actually continue to thrive. So with that in mind, today we are working with VEGO. They went ahead and sent us one of their irrigation systems so that we can basically start our fruit tree forest. And so if you don't know, VEGO, they do offer planter beds, all different kinds of stuff for gardening, but one of the things that we were very interested in is an irrigation system, because out here things can dry out so fast, and so having a consistent irrigation system is a huge thing. They do sell irrigation kits where all you have to do is just click the button and it'll send everything that you need to them. We were more interested in their customizable irrigation system, because we were able to not only get irrigation for what we're planting today, but get enough irrigation to expand it in the future, knowing that over the next few months we're going to be collecting a bunch of fruit trees. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to head up to the garden area, and I already have it all mapped out. I have all my beds already laid out on the computer. I took my little program and I plugged in all my little garden beds. I had to adjust it now because we decided to put the fruit trees in there, so I need to adjust all the plans, but I'll eventually show you guys that one day of what I want my garden to look like. But let's head up there and then we can kind of look at the spaces that we're going to be planting in. Okay, so if you can see this little string line right here, that is the start of the garden. I've showed you before, and it runs all the way down there somewhere. But we are going to start with the garden. Ignore the string. We're mapping out the foundation of the house, so that's going to be coming soon. So we have the string line. We wanted to make sure it was square to the property, so we ran a string line from our front line going all the way back to where the house goes. So you guys will see that in upcoming videos. But our goal was to, I want the olive tree directly in the middle of the garden as far as like lengthwise. So this is our middle point here. So we're going to be putting the olive tree about right here. We want to make sure that we get it a good distance away from the fence so that it doesn't grow into the fence too bad. So what my idea is since it starts down there somewhere, we would have a tree basically in between every single fence space, and then running all the way down, so we can get like a good amount of trees up here, and then in between the trees we're going to be putting like bush type plants in between the trees, so blueberries, raspberries, elderberries, boysenberries, whatever type of berries that we want to get. And then but all the berries will have to wait until we actually get this closed and fenced off. So we're gonna start, I guess, right here, and then I'm thinking that we're gonna put the pomegranate here. And then the garden is situated to where the east is this way, west is this way, so that everything should get full coverage sun. Once we put up the greenhouse and the prep area, which is a long way into the future, then that will kind of determine what we plant in the beds. But we wanted to make sure we put the trees in a spot where they will get sun and won't get shaded. And then over here, along the actual garden fence line as well, we'll end up putting trees. I'm hoping you can hear me because of the wind. We'll end up putting trees along this fence line as well, which that's going to be the garden fence right here. So pretty much we're going to have a lot of space for fruit trees up in the garden, and then we'll probably trickle some out around different areas of the property as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go get supplies, go get a shovel, and go get our beautiful new trees so you can see them. Okay, so we went ahead and got both holes dug up. Elijah's just cleaning up around the pomegranate tree hole. So I'm basically going to do the same thing what I did with the peach tree, is where I sprinkle in some of the plant food, and then I'm going to top it with some soil, and then the olive tree will be going right into this hole. So first we're going to be putting in our olive tree. So this is a mission olive tree. We're going to keep all the tags and stuff on them because once we get their mates, we want to make sure that we get their correct mates that produce the highest amount of fruit production on everything. Okay, we're going to try and wiggle this out of here. There we go. Just gonna dump that into the hole. There's still soil in there. And then these things, I was telling Elijah, I was like, I can reuse all this stuff, all these little containers and stuff to start different seeds in and everything. Okay, so that's all of those out of there. I'm just gonna ruffle some of the roots a little bit, just to let them know that they are free. Okay. think we are good. So I'll back you guys up so you can see the new tree. What do you think, Elijah? Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. It's so small.
Stick, otherwise it would be.
It would have blown away. Okay, so this is our new olive tree, graciously blowing in the wind. It's so tiny. It's hard to like tell how small it is until you get it in the ground and you're like, okay, that barely reaches like my mid-thigh. So, okay, we have another tree in the ground. Let's do the pomegranate really quick, and then we'll get some rock border set up to help it keep the water in. We may dome it a little bit more. So this one is our pomegranate tree. This one is ready to go in the ground today. So this one is an Ariana pomegranate tree. So this one's supposed to get, I think, about 8 to 10 feet tall. And then the olive tree is supposed to get up to 20 feet tall, which would be nice. That's why I wanted that one as the main center point. And then eventually we do want to get like some either pistachio trees or some almond trees or some cashew trees, or maybe all of them. We did count the spaces that we have for the space up here, and we could fit about 12 trees just on the front run of the garden. And then that doesn't count running them down the side of the garden, running them down the west side of the garden either. So I feel like that's a good amount of space for trees. Oh yeah, this whole thing was like, this whole pot is like root bound, dude. Okay, I don't want to mess with these too much. Yeah, I was ready to come out of the pot. Okay, you ready? Go ahead. Yeah, this one just like wants to like separate itself from the soil already. And then we'll keep an eye on the plants. Like if we feel like something's been nibbling at them or eating at them, then we'll put some wire mesh around them. But so far, nothing really has nibbled at the peach tree. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we have both of the trees domed, and then we went ahead and mulched them. So next, I think we might find some rocks with the kids later once they get up, and then we are going to be working on the new irrigation system provided by VEGO. Since we have the trees in the ground, we went ahead and mulched them, and then we gave them a hand watering, a deep hand watering, because we weren't sure if we were going to set up the irrigation system today, but it's super windy, so I'm just afraid that the mic isn't going to pick up much. So I think we might be okay. We're going to hide behind the IBC tote and see if that helps with some of the wind blockage. But pretty much we're going to first go over what our irrigation pieces look like, and then we'll get them installed. Okay, so this is everything that VEGO sent us. Everything is in very pretty packaging, but this basically is everything that we need for our current trees that we have and our future expansion of trees in this area. Along with some of this might even cover some of our garden beds as well. So pretty much we're going to go through and look at all the goodies that VEGO sent us, and then we'll get it all set up. Okay, so we're going to start over here. So this is our irrigation hose. That is the main irrigation hose that they sent us. They are 40 feet long each, and so we have 4 of those, so a total of 160 feet. And so it's just like any other rubber plastic hose. It's pretty heavy duty, and so this one will connect our main line that's going to be coming from our water source and spreading throughout the different trees. Okay, next we have over here, these are our T connectors. There's 4 in each box, so we have a total of 12. So these T connectors are the ones for our main line. So this will allow us to branch our main line out in different directions. So this fits the standard hose on there. And then one thing that's nice about VEGO, I don't know if it will focus, but on their connectors, they do have the measurement connector size. So it's telling me that this one is a 12 millimeter size. So you can easily, if you want to expand, you can know what sizes to end up getting. And then right here, this is our reducer tees. So with those ones, they're just like our main one that I just showed you, but these ones take the main line and they allow you to set off it allows you to connect a branch irrigation, which is a smaller tube. I'll show you that smaller tube in just a minute. So this is the smaller tube when it gets connected, so that's the main line size, and then you can see that it lets you go off into a smaller size. Okay, we also got some T-plugs, so this will allow us to plug the end of the lines wherever we're not ready to branch off yet. Okay, so next we have our 2 valves. So this valve attaches to the main line so that we can connect it in, and then we can manually shut off without having to unplug from the actual water source. And then this one is the smaller main valve. So this is what we're going to install to each individual tree. So if for some reason a tree is getting too much water, or if we don't have a tree in that area, we can go ahead and just shut off water to that T without having to completely disconnect everything. So the next thing that we have is our drip nozzle. It comes with the spike, and then it comes with this. This is what connects into our branch off line, and this will allow us to drip water all of our trees so that we can do nice deep soakings for them. And the last thing that we have is the digital water timer. So this one is a 2-zone timer, and so just like any other water timer, it's just plug and play, so that we'll end up hooking up our water source right into the top here, and then this is where we will be hooking up our main line. So this will be great because you can do dual waterings, so you can set a certain time schedule for one zone and then a whole nother time schedule for another zone. Fruit bushes on one timer and then put our trees on another timer, then it allows us to do that. Or if we want to have our garden beds running off of one and then all the trees and the bushes running off another, this will allow us to do that. We're going to be starting off with our main line connecting into our first branch off T. So that one is just a simple plug and play. So pretty much it is, what he's using is this piece right here, and he's plugging the main line into this side, and then we're going to get our smaller cordage to plug into this one. Next, Elijah has the branch off line, so he's just going to plug that in right into that little small section at the beginning, at the front. Then everything's super simple. It's all just like a push in and it's a click. So now we're gonna get ready to connect our shutoff valve. So he's gonna go ahead and snip the line. Okay, so next he's going to be installing the shutoff valve and also the drip nozzle, and those two just connect together. Yes. Okay. And then it just plugs in. Okay, so we have our first one installed. So we are going to head down to the pomegranate tree. So now we're gonna go back to our first line that we set up, and we're gonna be attaching our main line. This is the line that's gonna be going into the water timer. These adapters came with the main line and they just screw right in on the bottom, and then this has a filter on the bottom. So this one has a quick connect for the main line to go into.
A little blueberry one. Mommy, my blueberry quick.
Next we're going to hook up the water hose. So right at the bottom it already has a quick connect for the water hose, and that's going to be a standard water hose size. Okay, so after getting everything set up and everything hooked to our water, we were able to go ahead and get our drip system set up and ready to go. So this is what it looks like. Overall, this was a pretty easy and quick setup for us. It's nice knowing that we can always add to the system later by just adding more pieces when we start to add more trees. So we definitely want to thank VEGO for sending us out their irrigation kit. We will have a link in our description box where you can go ahead and pick up anything from off their site along with the discount code that is going to be available for a limited time. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one.